Hello and welcome back to another episode of Sports with Monga. Eddie Howe, what a week he has, right? He's had. Right? He had a chance to finally get Newcastle United a trophy after their 54th 54 years since they've won a trophy. Can you imagine? Like the pressure of kind of trying to get out of that. So a couple of changes made by Eddie Howe. One notable change was, of course, Saint-Maximin not starting, but giving Anthony Gordon, the Evertonian winger, his first start. That was a change. That was the first change that Eddie Howe made after the EFL defeat against EFL Cup defeat against Manchester United. Pope came back in after his suspension. After Karius made his debut in the losing finalist in the EFL Cup. Fabian Schär was out because of a concussion. Jamal Lascelles made the cut in. And yeah, as I said, Saint-Maximin was out and Anthony Gordon started. Pep Guardiola made 6 changes after the 3-0 up victory against Bristol in the FA Cup with Alvarez on the bench. Kevin De Bruyne is starting. Mahrez on the bench. Bernardo on the bench starting. But then Kevin De Bruyne, Foden, Grealish, Gundogan playing, and Walker playing as well, along with Rodri. I would say the pressure was on for both the teams to kind of get good results. Of course, for City chasing down and hunting down Arsenal, they wanted to win. And the win they did get, it was a 2-0 win against Newcastle United. Newcastle would have felt that there was a chance that they could have won the game or actually been leading in the first half after, chances came in plenty, but when you don't score them, you don't win them. Yeah. Foden, but then, you have to go back to the mixed chances for Newcastle United. They've Wilson in the first half, Joelinton in the second. Yeah. There were chances that they could have just finished them. But none of them were. Isak, it was pretty funny, the game as well, when Isak, Wilson, and the subs that were made by Eddie Howe in the second half when he got when 3 substitutions were made directly, getting in Saint-Maximin for Anthony Gordon, Wilson. Isak came in for Wilson, and Longstaff was subbed out for Willock. It kind of pumped in more energy. Newcastle looked more kind of wanting to get a result. The one substitution, Bernardo Silva comes in for Kevin De Bruyne, and goal, 2-0 down after Foden in the first half, the first 15 minutes. What a beautiful strike. Like, the ball comes to him from Rodri. Kevin De Bruyne makes a run, takes the defender with him. But nobody from midfield comes to kind of blocks that run from Foden, who gets inside and is able to score a goal. And I think it was a good goal because he held off Bruno Guimaraes and also Gordon. And then in the end, it was a deflection, but then it went in as well. So it doesn't matter. I'm very sure Eddie Howe should not feel disheartened by this game, right? They're playing the best, possibly the second. Of course, they're the second best right now, but they're possibly the best team right now, second best team in the Premier League right now. So it's pretty hard for them to kind of meet managing expectations in that sense. But there were chances, and I'm very sure City will take these 3 points for them to kind of close up the point to a little distance between them and Arsenal. City reduced Arsenal's lead to only 2 points. The Gunners are playing Bournemouth, right? They're playing Bournemouth later today. And for Newcastle, they need to kind of think about, like, where do they really want to end the season, because it's the business end now. It's like, you can't have crazy expectations without kind of having implications about the next season as well. So Newcastle United right now is in 5th spot, and they will play. They need to play for something, right? They need to kind of have the vision, like, where do they want to end it. Right now, Manchester City is kind of the team on the rise. They're winning games. They kind of scrappy results, getting the results done physically, kind of with hard labor, kind of putting the efforts there to win it. They sit 2 points behind Arsenal. On the other hand, Newcastle United are now 4 points behind Tottenham Hotspurs, who sit on the 4th spot right now for the Champions League spots. That's kind of the thing, right? Like, does Newcastle United go for the Champions League spots? Because that gets more motivation, gets the fans excited, that gets the whole project a next level. That allows more European players to now think about Newcastle as well. And they can spend not just only big but really quality players across other leagues and within the leagues, and then they're an exciting proposition as well, because everybody wants to play Champions League. And I think that's the dilemma right now with Newcastle. Like, they're in a place where they can just kind of relax and sit down and get the results against the scrappy teams, and you kind of finish top 6 pretty easily, I would say. And that's kind of the issue that I think Eddie Howe has to kind of deal with. Pep Guardiola on the other side, but on the other side, is more relaxed. He knows what his goals are. He wants to win the Champions League. He wants to win the Premier League. It's pretty simple. It's much easier when you're on the top, and then you just need to think about winning. But when you're in the mid, and then you need to kind of set expectations. Is like 4th the best, the 3rd the best, or the 5th the best, or the 6th the best. And also depends on the results that keeps coming. Like, it's pretty strange that Eddie Howe, I think the other thing is to look at is Newcastle have not won a game in the last 5 games. They've lost or drawn most of them. They've drawn 3. They've lost 2. And they're a pretty inexperienced young squad. So it's a lot to ask for that team, knowing where they were last season. Like, they were relegation, and then the Saudi fund comes in and buys them. But then Eddie Howe coming up, doing an amazing job to kind of pick up the team from the pieces and kind of building it out. They've had an amazing season. Let's be very honest here. They've had an amazing season, but it's a business that things need to get started. 25 games done. For 26 games done for Manchester City. Newcastle still have a game in hand. And that'll be interesting to see how this goes. Let me know in the comment section below what do you think. Pretty much straightforward game. Haaland, Foden seems to have found his form. Haaland is still not scoring. Bernardo is like the Trojan horse who just comes in and does something really weird on the pitch. But you're like, why is he playing there? But he comes up and scores as well. So there's a lot happening. Peppered man managing a lot of minutes around a lot of players. Good to see a solid and also a defensive game for Pep Guardiola, and also Ederson getting his 100th clean sheet for Manchester City. A lot of positives to take away. Newcastle, I think they should be proud of the game they played. They could have converted those chances. It would have been a different game altogether. But then, yeah, this is one of those days when Newcastle will be like, this is what City happened with City when, again, Nottingham Forest. So City should not have lost or drawn that game. City should have been like 6 or 7-0 up in the first half, but then he just couldn't score. And that's kind of the thing, like with Newcastle as well. They just couldn't kind of convert the chances that they've had. And they've had some really amazing chances today's game. Let me know in the comment section below what do you think about the match. Pep Guardiola. Do you see them on a run now? I really don't think they're still on a run. But what does a run really mean? They need a couple of players to start ticking. And they have those players taking. Grealish is like one of those most potent things. Foden has started finding form. Haaland is now turned provider. Kevin De Bruyne is the one that is like, he's not there yet. It'll take some time for him. But then, it's Kevin De Bruyne. He can just turn it around. On the other hand, Newcastle need to think about where do they want to finish. And as I said, in my mind, Newcastle will finish top 4 because I feel Spurs will drop momentum. But then, because there's so much happening in the and outside of football there that you don't really know what's really happening with Spurs right now, with Conte also out and not kind of in the same dugout. So let me know in the comment section what do you think about the game. Pretty interesting fights in the game as well. Lascelles bullying Haaland, Burn bullying Grealish, then Haaland coming to rescue, getting a yellow. Interesting times to see how friends turn foe as well. Trippier and Grealish seeing that the English jersey, the fight from the right flank. Let me know in the comments below what do you think of the game. Do like this video though. Do share and do subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you in the next one. Ciao.